Peter's crew and Ruth's crew, Claire here with a new microphone. I wonder if you can tell the difference. We have had a really exciting week. It has been lush to see quite a lot of you at Muddy Church, and we have had the most glorious weather for Muddy Church for both of the last two occasions when we explored the story of Who Is My Neighbour. And I have never giggled quite as much as I did there. So I'm really hoping that this video will be one of our last ever videos, and that really soon we will be back face to face all the time. So we have got a bumper episode lined up for this video. We're going to revisit an old cook with Claire and make our stuffed boats. And we're going to have a really interactive storytelling, something we did at one of the breakfast Zooms. And to do that, you are going to have to find, so go find this while I do the name call out, a towel, some water and some salt. Okay, towel, water, salt. I bet you can find that. So go find that ready for our interactive storytelling. While you're doing that, here are a few hellos from you.
Hello, Peter's crew. Hello. 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 Say hi. Hi. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Have a nice day. Hello. 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 Hey. Is it ready yet? Watch your peeps.
Here are some hellos from me. Ruth's crew and Peter's crew. Are we ready? Here we go. Hello Louisa and Holly, Gregory and Billy. Hi there Hazel and Freddie. Hello Simon and Layla. Hello Luca and Isaiah. Hi there Hope and Leo. Hello Joseph and Grace. Hi there Timmy and Maisie. Hello Jemima and Ruben. Hi there Hugo and Ed. Hello Eliza and Elsie. Hello Valentine and Autumn. Hello Jaden. Hello Harry and Sophie. Hi there Caris and Tess. Hello Lucy and Amy. Hello Ben and Liberty. Hello Paddy. Hi there Toby and Maisie. Hello Eliza. Hello Lucas. Hello Josh. Hello you. It is so good to see you in this way. And it's been even better to see those of you that I've seen at Muddy Church. Right, there will be new bookings for Muddy Church for this week and next week, and I'm hoping I can see even more of you. So do get those parents to book you in. It has also been so lovely to be able to sing praises to God outside in such a beautiful space. And I'm really hoping that soon we'll be singing inside too. I'm really feeling the hope of getting back to normal rising. I hope you're feeling that too. And before our story, we are going to have that song that we had right at the beginning of lockdown, all about hope. Here it is.
When the world is hurting, when life is so confusing, I am sure of one thing, God's by my side, yeah. When I'm feeling lonely and I start to worry, I know God, you're near me and you're always by my side, yeah. And I can lift my hands up to you, I can raise my voice and sing. You are who I put all hope in, I will trust you in everything. There is hope. There is hope in the Lord, He is with me each day. I will trust in the day. I have hope in the Lord.
So for this video, which is for this week and next week, the 2nd and 9th of May, you will need the second of the magazines that came in your kids club in the post. The one that says, Jesus calms the storm. Right, now did we find those things? The water, the salt and the towel. Okay, we are going to enter into the story today. So, this is a story from Luke's Gospel, chapter 8. And it begins like this. One day Jesus said to his disciples, let's cross to the other side of the lake. So they got into a boat and they started out. And as they sailed, Jesus settled down for a nap. Right. Now this wasn't just any old lake, this was the Sea of Galilee, which is, as its name suggests, Sea of Galilee, really quite a big lake. So it was quite a long journey in a boat, and it was probably a sailing boat. Right, let's get in the boat, let's get our sail, you got your towel, and if you flap your towel, it sounds a bit like a sail flapping. So they set off, and Jesus was having a nap, and all was well. However, a fierce storm blew up. Right, we can have a lot of fun with this, particularly if there's more than one of you at that end, because you can splash each other. So we are going to flap our towel like Billy-O, splash ourselves with water, which would happen in a storm, and it would be seawater. So every now and again, have a little taste of salt to get that whole at sea experience of a storm. Are you ready? Here we go. Flappy, 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 flappy. Oh, a storm blew up. It was really fierce. And the disciples were having a terrible time. And they thought there was water coming into the boat. And they thought they were going to drown. And they went, Jesus, wake up. We're going to drown. And Jesus woke up. And he stood up. And he said, peace, be still. And the wind and the waves stopped. Oh! Just like that. But that's not all he said. He turned to the disciples who were terrified and amazed, and he said, where is your faith? Ooh, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? Where is your faith? And the disciples looked at each other. Who is this man? They asked each other. When he gives a command, even the wind and waves obey him. Wow. Imagine that. Are you all a bit wet like me? So, this was an amazing moment, wasn't it? Because the earth, the natural forces, the wind and the waves obeyed the voice of Jesus. And the wind and the waves, they've been created by the voice of God at the beginning of the Bible when he spoke, let there be light, and there was light, and he created everything. So this was a moment where we saw for definite that Jesus was God, because things obeyed him, natural things that should not obey normal people were listening and obeying Jesus. So there's some questions here. Have you ever been in a small boat? And did you enjoy it? Have you been in a boat? I love going down, or used to love, I haven't done it in ages, going to Avon Valley, and they had those pedal boats on the little lake and you could pedal round. Have you done that? And when I was at college, we used to go out in rowing boats and punts with a big stick, little boats on rivers, and that was really good fun. And one of my bestest friends at college, Hilary, she was a sailor, and she took me out in a sailing boat once, and that was just magical. Just being with the wind and moving with the wind on the water. So, however, it can be great fun like that, but it can change if you're in a boat, a small boat, on a big sea, and the weather changes. It can change quite quickly. It's a little bit like bodyboarding. Have you ever done bodyboarding? Bodyboarding is great fun. You go riding in on the waves, but then every now and again you get one completely wrong, don't you? A wave completely wrong, and you get smashed. It's sort of the water comes smashing over you. Sometimes even the belly board hits you in the tummy, and you can just sort of, it can just change in a moment and be quite grim. So I wonder if that's ever happened to you, if you've been near the sea or near the, and things have changed very quickly from good to bad. It says here, what would you have done if you were in a boat when a storm came? So, there's certain things you can do if you know what you're doing as a sailor with your sail. It might even be a good idea to take the sail down, I don't know, so the boat doesn't blow over. Or maybe you could drop your anchor, or I don't know. I mean, I would be terrified because I'm not a sailor and I wouldn't really know what to do in a storm. I would be like the disciples. I would be frightened of drowning. So what did they do? They woke up Jesus. What was he doing? He was asleep. He was asleep in the storm. They woke him up and he said this. He says, why do you think Jesus said, where is your faith, to the disciples? I wonder why he said that. Where is your faith? I suppose it was Jesus that said, let's go to the other side of the lake. And if they'd really known that Jesus was God, then they would know they'd be okay in a boat with him. Because you're kind of okay in a boat with God, aren't you? If God's in your boat, wow, even if there's a storm, you're not really going to drown. So maybe that's what they meant. Well, that's what he meant. We need faith to know that what's being asked of you, even if it gets bumpy, is okay if God's in your boat. And then it says, what do you think of Jesus when you've heard this story? What do you think of him? He must be a good sleeper. Maybe he was very tired to sleep in a boat in a storm. That's one thing to think of him. But what about this business of just saying to the wind, be still, and it is? Wow. That is quite amazing. I think that makes me want Jesus in my boat every day. Because I want someone who can rescue me, whatever's happening, whatever my storm is. What do you think? Now, there's 2 lovely prayer activities, creative prayer activities in our magazine this week, and I'm going to do them with you now. For the first one, you need a balloon. It's called Balloon Prayers, and we're going to blow this balloon up and just hold all the hot air inside the balloon. And as we do that, we're thinking about the things that give us fear, our worries and our fears. We're blowing them into the balloon and we're just holding them in our prayer. Here we go. Wow. So, dear God, we bring you our fears and our worries. They can seem big. They can get in the way. In our story today, we saw how if Jesus is in your boat and you wake him up, he can take away all your fears. Jesus, we give you our fears. You might want to name to Jesus some of your fears. And then we're going to let Jesus take them away. We're going to say this. We're going to listen to Jesus' words and speak them over our fears. Silence. Be still. And as all of those fears came out of our balloon, we pray that Jesus has stilled our fears within us. Amen. The other prayer experiment, I couldn't resist because it sounded so much like an experiment, and I used to be a chemistry teacher. I couldn't resist it. So we've got some bicarbonate of soda or baking powder in our glass. And this glass represents us. And these are things that cause us to be fearful. And then some oil, could be any kind of oil, is going to represent Jesus. So here we are, and this is what happens when life throws at us some problems. Stormy. But Jesus comes and he calms the storm. His oil stops the fizz. Can you see that? Calms the fizz. So that's another way to pray. Pray with some chemistry. Thinking about how we sometimes need the oil of Jesus' calm on our bubbling emotions of fear and anxiety. He can do it. Just say, God, here's all my things that make me bubble with fear and anxiety. Please say, silence, be still. Jesus can bring freedom from anything, but you do have to ask, and that's prayer. Hello Peter's crew, welcome to my kitchen for another Cook with Claire and Eat the Bible one treat at a time. Today we are going to do tuna filled savoury boats on a sea of cabbage. You never thought you'd see it, did you? So what do we need for this? Okay, so here we have ingredients needed. To make your boat, ideally you need a nice large pepper. Well, 2, you can make 4 boats quite easily with this recipe. If you haven't got a pepper, you need another fruit, try again Claire, a vegetable you can halve and scoop out into a boat shape. So I've got here a courgette, which I'm also going to do. For the stuffing of your boat, you need some tuna. I've just got some cans of tuna here. Some sweet corn. You can also use a can of sweet corn, but I don't have a can of sweet corn, so I've got some frozen sweet corn. 2 onions, a little bit of garlic if you like garlic, and some rice. Now again, you can cook the rice from scratch. I'm going to cheat and use a bag of microwave ready rice. And for your sea, you could have a sea of salad leaves, you could have a sea of spinach. I'm going to have a sea of cabbage. So if you found all those things and you're in the mood, we can begin. The first thing to do is switch your oven on. Okay, so it's 180 degrees and gas mark 5. And then the first thing to do is prepare your boat-shaped vegetables. So make sure you are wearing an apron and you have washed your hands. And then on a chopping board, you need your boat-shaped vegetables. A nice sharp vegetable knife. If you're not used to using knives, do get an adult to help you and go really carefully. But the basic rule with using a knife is never have your fingers underneath the knife. No. So think about where your fingers are whenever you're using the knife. So the first thing we're going to do is cut the peppers in half. So the best way of doing this, I find, is to start at the top and just cut very carefully all the way around like this till you get back to the top, and then very gently open it out like that, and the bit with all the seeds can then be just lifted out of your pepper thus, and that can go in your compost food bin. So I will repeat that with the other pepper. I'm using a red pepper, but you could equally use a green pepper or a yellow pepper. Right, and then if you're using a courgette or another type of squashy type vegetable, I'm going to cut this all the way down the middle, like so. I have washed it, by the way. I haven't mentioned that, but I have. And I'm going to scoop out the middle. So just gently like that. Actually, I lie. This one is proving difficult with a spoon because it's not as soft as some of my courgette middles have been in the past. So that may be difficult, but I just want to scoop out the middle to make an extra long boat. We can save the middle, keep that to one side, that will come in later. The next thing we're going to do is pop our vegetables in the oven to begin warming them. So for this you're going to need a baking tray. So here we go, I'm going to pop them straight onto my roasting dish or my baking tray, and they just need 10 minutes in the oven to start them cooking. If you like, you can brush them with a little bit of olive oil or spray them with a little bit of oil spray. I'm not going to do that to mine, but you can if you like. Right, pop them in the oven for 10 minutes. They're in the oven, so our next thing to do are the onions. Now, I've chosen a red onion or a brown onion. You can choose whatever colour onion you have, doesn't matter. Now, onions are a bit tricky to chop, so the first thing to do is to remove the rooty end, thus, and then remove the pointy end, thus. And then peel the onion. I find that's easiest to do with my fingers. Now, my boys do not like chopping onions. In fact, Alfie has been known to only do it if he can wear swimming goggles while he's doing it, so the onions don't make him cry. So there's a top tip. Put your swimming goggles on. But I find generally, if I do this bit first, so I peel them all first, and I don't start chopping until I'm almost ready for them to go in the pan. And then the onion juices do not have long to get me. So you're going to want to fry your onions over a medium heat. This sort of pan, quite a large pan here, to do it in. Right, so chopping an onion, again, watching fingers. So I find cut it in half that way, so that it's then on a flat side, so it's less likely to slip away from you. And then putting your fingers over the top like a bridge. Chop down in the middle. And then turn it that way and chop that way. Again, fingers over the top like a bridge. Could you see that? I'll do this one now. Fingers over the top like a bridge, knife in the middle. That way your onion doesn't slide away from you and your fingers do not get chopped. I don't know, I've never been a cookery teacher. There may be a special way to do onions that cookery teachers know about. Apologies if I'm upsetting anything you've been taught in your cookery classes. And then garlic. You may or may not like garlic. I rather do like garlic. So I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic to this. Now you can crush your garlic in a garlic crusher. I currently don't have a garlic crusher. It wasn't quite the same as the sieve in the fish tank, but it did sort of come to an end. So I'm going to chop my garlic. So in fact, while the onions are now beginning to get to me, so I'm going to get those onions in the pan. So I'll just bring you over here in my kitchen to my pan. There we go, see that? So I'm going to put a little tiny smidgen of oil in the pan, just a little splash. I'm going to turn the heat on onto the pan, thus, and I'm going to slide my onions, all chopped and ready, into the pan to begin to sizzle. And put a lid on the pan, so that will keep all of those nasty onion juices inside. Right, back to the garlic department. So again, your clove of garlic, if you chop off both ends of it, you can then peel it, just like you did with the onion. And get a little clove of garlic like this. So this is a clove of garlic, it's just one little piece of the big garlic bulb. Don't do what my husband John did once in a recipe, and he got confused between a clove of garlic and the whole garlic bulb. And instead of putting in 2 of these little bits, which are the cloves, he put in 2 of these big bulbs. Oh, that was a bit too much. Right, and then I'm going to chop up this garlic, but as I say, you can use, if you've got one, a garlic crusher for this bit. William nearly joined us there. Back over to the pan. Oh, it's sizzling nicely. I'm going to just put my hood on, which means it might get a bit noisy, and give my onions a stir. So the onion garlic in there. I'm going to add in pieces of courgette that we scooped out of my courgette boat, and I'm popping those in. You may or may not have those, depends if you've done a courgette courgette bottle. Mine is frozen sweet corn, so it will need a bit of cooking. But open the corner of the bag about so much. Can you see that? I'll pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes. So I don't know how you are with a can opener. If you're not sure how to use your can opener, get a grown-up to help you. But do remember with tin openers that once you've opened the tin, the edge of the tin is really, really sharp, this bit, so be ever so careful with that bit, please. Ooh, it's looking good. Tuna. Right, oops, don't drop the can in. No. Remember the pan is hot as well, so go carefully with the pan. So we're giving it a really good stir so our mixture is well mixed and warmed through. And then we can add the rice as well. Now remember, the rice will be hot if you've done it in a bag like this, so be really careful to tip it out without getting yourself scalded with the steam from the bag. Or maybe you've made rice in a more traditional way by boiling it in a pan. So as I say, about 250 grams of rice. So we stir the rice in too. And we have our mixture all ready now to fill our boats with. Okay, while we're waiting for the pinger to go for the things that are in the oven, we can prepare the cabbage, if we're doing cabbage, as you'll see. So I've got a lovely white cabbage here and I'm just going to slice it basically so that I've got wavy bits that will look like sea. I find with this, again, it's a bit like the onion. I cut half of it and then I'll slice it this way so that it doesn't roll away. Notice my fingers are keeping well away from my knife. With the cabbage, we're just going to avoid this really bit in the middle that's stalky. So that's hard. I'm going to cut that out like that. Look, put that to one side. Oh, I've left a little bit of it there. Let's get rid of that. Right, and we'll keep going. This is my steamer. You don't have to do it in a steamer. But I pop all the cabbage into there and I pop that over some water and I stick the lid on and it steams away. It doesn't take very long, about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and that will be lush and cooked. You could equally cook your cabbage in just a normal pan or in the microwave. Find out how they cook cabbage in your house. Right, that's the pinger. Telling me that my hot vegetables have had, here they are. Now remember that the pan that's been in the oven is very, very hot. Oven gloves are needed, or a grown-up. And also that the vegetables that you have prepared are also hot. So if it's hot, don't touch it. Right, we're going to put them into a roasting tray. Right, so I'm going to transfer the hot vegetables into a cold dish. And I'm going to transfer them using implements, not my fingers, because they're hot. So I'm going to use the spoon and fish slice to put them across like this. And I'm going to move the hot tray out the way. Right, so now they're in a cold tray, I can move the tray without burning myself. And the next job is to fill those boats with our stuffing mixture. So using spoons, I'm going to take it out and pop it in there, as much as you can stuff in, using the spoon to push it down. And it's okay if it just is a little bit proud of your boat. Okay, so I will stuff all of those with my mixture. peppers and the courgette. Now, at this stage, the whole thing needs to go back in the oven for another 10 minutes. If you like cheese, now is a good time to grate a little cheese on the top. If you don't like cheese, don't do that bit. I love cheese, so I'm going to grate some cheese on the top. We're going to pop that in the oven for 10 minutes, and that will give us time to think about how to make a sail for our boat, which I've just realised we haven't covered yet. Okay, if you want to put a sail on your boat, you'll need to find something that works as a sail. So I've got a flatbread here, a wrap. So I've sliced it one way and I'm going to slice it the other way, like that. And then that's going to make sails to go on my boat. And I'm going to put them on my boat using a cocktail stick or a bamboo skewer. I've only got these enormous skewers which are a bit ridiculous. So I'm going to break one in half, being careful not to get anything on my fingers. And then that will become a sail to stick in my boat in a moment. Okay, so they work really well. If you haven't got those and you're not vegetarian, another thing you could try is a slice of ham. Okay, same idea. Half a slice of ham, stick your skewer through the top to make it into a sail. Or if you've got those cheese slices, they could work quite nicely too. I don't have any cheese slices. So get your sails at the ready to finish off your boat. Right, it's now time to plate up our finished product. So a little bit of cabbage on each plate to act as the sea. Remember that your boats have been in the oven and they are hot, so oven gloves to get them out of the oven, or better still, a grown-up. Using what we used before, a large spoon and a fish slice, we're going to carefully get the boats out and set them on their sail. So, you see my shipwrecked longer boat. Then we're going to put the sails in. Savoury boats on a bed of cabbage sailing away. There we have our savoury boat. Now, I haven't done it on camera, but I can recommend a pudding of a banana boat. Can you imagine? With chocolate and marshmallows to sail away to pudding land. Have fun, do send me photos, and do be careful because there's quite a lot of cutting and hot things in this make. Bye! Right, that's nearly all for this week, folks. We are going to finish with my lighthouse, which we haven't had in ages, and we're going to do it in a version from the garden, filmed before. I thought there was an excuse, you see, boats and sea, of my lighthouse. There's lots of things to do in your magazine, so don't miss any of those. There's loads of puzzles and things to make and games to play and crafts to bring some colour to your garden. So enjoy that, and I think that's just about it from me. Oh, save the date. Last week of August, that's the week beginning the 23rd of August. I know it's a long way away, Claire, but we're hoping Holiday Club will return. And it's going to be Unlikely Heroes, the live party. You don't want to miss that. Okay, sign up for Muddy. I'll see you soon. Bye! So, I thought we'd finish with our favourite, my lighthouse.
In my wrestling, in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are my peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are my peace in my troubled sea. In the silence you won't let go. In my questions your truth will hold. Your great love will see me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are my peace in the troubled sea. My lighthouse, whoa, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Whoa, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Whoa, safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, whoa, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Whoa, my lighthouse, whoa, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Whoa, safe to shore. Whoa, safe to shore. Whoa, safe to shore. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. My lighthouse, whoa, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Whoa, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Whoa, safe to shore. Whoa, safe to shore. Whoa, safe to shore.
Hope you enjoyed that version.